Friends, family, fans, it's the freaking Open Championship, baby. Episode 107, the Looney Troons. It's a little loony on this channel every now and then, but we're playing at Royal Troon, so we're going to have a fun little week. Got the people in the chat cooking up a good storm. Yeah, we got Luke saying, let's go. We got Sites giving me one. I mean, is there anything more enjoyable to read than saying that this is one of your favorite programs to watch? I appreciate it. Other than the other program that I'm a part of. I mean, Sites, my man, you are my favorite. What's up, Anthony? What's up, Far? Let's go. Are we primed for the Open? Well, speaking about getting primed, this show is not brought to you by Twisted Tea yet, but we're going to have a nice little rocket pop Twisted Tea. The reason I like Twisted Teas for the shows, no carbonation. 5% gets my fat ass a little quicker, to the end zone there. But let's have if you're allowed to drink, if you can drink responsibly, if you don't have a drinking problem, enjoy a nice cold beverage with me, please. If you do, crack a nice water, crack a soda, eat a bag of chips, do something a little naughty. This is the Open Championship. It's the major. We're allowed to bet a bit more than we used to. We're allowed to have a bit more fun than we want to, or we should. However you want to call it. So it's going to be a fun time. Cheers. Let's have a banger of an episode, and let's have a banger of a week. Beautiful. As always, shows brought to you by rotoballer.com. Use code MANIAC for 10% off. Link in the description below. I believe summer actually even gets you 30% off. So use code summer. I think my link's mixed into that as well. So we're fine. 30%, all the stuff. And I'll be able to show you my screen. I'm going to be sharing my screen with you guys. I'm going to be sharing the weather screen with you guys because this is quite the week we are dealing with here. So here is the screen. And I don't want to have myself over the weather here. Let's get myself out of the weather. So in my model that you can get at rotoballer.com, link in the description, this was the weather on Monday. We had a significant weather edge, or at least significant decrease in wind on Friday. Then we scrolled to this morning, 1 o'clock on Tuesday. Wind still kind of lacking on Friday, but kind of whatever, doing its thing. Then we scrolled to now, just a little bit ago. Look at how much wind is picked up here. It's like, this is the thing. So the problem with this week, I've made 2 outright bets. That is it. I haven't made any placements. We're going to kind of walk through the model, kind of figure out where we want to go. Kind of have an eye on some guys that we're going to pounce on when this weather finally makes its decision, because I'll be placing these bets tomorrow night. This weather is constantly changing. And I think this week, out of all the weeks outside of the Scottish and this week, you have to take advantage of the weather edges. The books are sleeping. They're just kind of taking the money in from wherever it's coming from. Let's see. I'll tell you who I'm leaning towards strongly, but I don't know. We're going to have to figure out where we want to go with this weather, because now all of a sudden, another important part about the weather is it changes what kind of golfer thrives in these conditions. If Thursday, I'm looking at Thursday and Wednesday. No wonder the weather's wrong. Duh. Let me take a look at what's actually going on Friday, because they do not play golf on Wednesday. Friday's the same shit, so it's windy as balls. Take a look here. Looking at windy.com. We got Thursday, Friday. It is windy, like 50 miles. This is going to be some fun stuff. Out of the south, let's see what's going on. So out of the south means it's blowing out of the opposite direction. That's the prevailing wind. I love how we get into golf betting, and the next thing, you become a weatherman. Like, I don't know shit about the weather, but yeah, we are trying to figure out what's going on, figuring out if the wind's going to be blowing, what not. But as it stands right now, if this wind blows out the south, the prevailing wind, I believe, is coming from this northerly, like westerly direction, which kind of blows these holes over here. Let me pull up my thing over here again. In my little model, I have the course map. So you can kind of get a picture for what's going on here. So as you can see, I'm going to zoom in again a little bit more. This is very important because the wind is so important this week. So important. Because look at what's going on here. The first 6 holes, 7 holes, 8 holes are all kind of going this direction, west to like southwest to northeast kind of thing. So if that wind is blowing from the south, we got some stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's going to be really interesting. And these crosswinds, when it comes to links golf, can be a nightmare. Can be a nightmare. So in this situation, you can see then they're coming back into the clubhouse, into the prevailing wind usually. But now, if it's going to be out of this direction, out of the south, I guess it's coming a little bit. So pay attention to the wind. We got all sorts of crap going on. What's going on, Joanne? How are we doing? It's looking like a Hatton week. Oh, well, we're going to chat about that as well. Barry, what's up, my brother? My main man. What are the three amigos? The Dweeb brothers. I don't know what we call ourselves. Joanne saying no lineup's going to be built until. Yes, good. I like that. That's a smart move. I think that's the way to go. All right. So in the model, I'm going to kind of just show off what you guys can get there if you sign up for everything. So here's major finishes since 2021. It shows you top 2s, top 5s, top 10s, top 20s, how many starts, how many missed cuts, the price, the amount of finishes, first, second, third, blah, blah, blah. Strokes gained in 2024, so you can kind of filter on that when you want to. And then strokes gained in majors since 2018. I might have made that 2021. I'm not entirely sure. I wouldn't have used 2018 instead of that. But as you can see, we got strokes gained in majors again here back to 2018. So I think I didn't change the actual. Yeah, it's different numbers. So we good. All right. We good. Okay. So yeah, that's good to go. Now you got a bit more of a longer backstory over here to see all this information for you. Then what we are doing, and this is something I will go to my deathbed with. This is what I'm going to be doing. Best finishes in a major prior to a win. Take a look at this. Since Ernie Els won in 2012, he'd won a major already. So boom, chalk off a major winner. Everybody that's won an Open Championship since 2012 has finished second or first in a major prior to that win. So you have to have a major pedigree, in my opinion, to find yourself with a shot to win this thing, because that's what I'm looking for. We can't have all this random crap going on. I mean, the US Open's got a bit more volatility. You know, there's 6ths and 7ths and 5ths and 3rds and 4ths. I understand that a difference between a second and a third maybe not that big of a deal, but it's important to note that these guys that find themselves, we've lost sound. Please tell me that is not the truth. Testing. Guys, hit me up in the chat. We cannot have this problem. Let me know if you can hear me, please. Let me know if you can hear me. And if you can, we might do our first giveaway while we're right at it. So I'd imagine someone else. Okay, good. We are good. Far Canal, I don't know, my brother. We got to figure it out. All right. Getting back into the flow here. Look at this. Between Augusta and the Open Championship, you need a credible major pedigree. Seconds or firsts, baby. Maybe if you want, you can slip a third in there as well, because Stuart Sink, Darren Clark both had thirds. Louis showed up and finished 73rd as his best finish in a major in 2010 and then won it. So lucky he got that out the way, because I don't think he's ever winning another tournament again. He just doesn't seem like he has it under his control. So if you take a look at these like percentages for it all, 79% of major winners at the Open have finished second or better in a major prior since 2010. If you're going back to 1999, the last 25 years, 68%. So it kind of gets a little wonky once you get back into the 2010 like era there. Augusta is so strong. You know, like that will reign supreme for course history and major pedigree. So between the Open and the Masters, you got to remember strokes. I mean, not even strokes gained. You got major finishes. And by the way, we have got that for you in the model. So you can see what's going on in all these different finishes over here. Per tournament, you can see exactly where these guys finished. I've got this for you over here. I've got a major betting summary. So you can see guys that have done all sorts of random stuff. I'm going to actually do this right now. Who has won the most money in majors since 2021? Betting $100 in all different markets. Win top 5, top 10, top 20. If you combine all of those together since 2021, who in this field has gained the most money, has had the best dollar return for you if you were to bet them in every single market, in every single tournament they played in since 2021? Hit me up in the comments below, one per person. In the meantime, maybe someone figures it out, maybe someone doesn't. We'll see where it's going over here. The winner will get the model directly DM to them on X if you guys hit me up in that department, and we will give you a good old free week for the model. So I'm seeing some names coming in. We got Anthony with Finau. We got Joanne with Scotty. We got Barry with Xander. We got JP with Brooks. Steve G with Rory. And I'm sad to tell you guys that none of you are right. None of you are right. So a quick little start off over here with a little, it ain't Scotty. Remember, Scotty's odds are like ridiculously low. So it may seem that way, but he's not the most profitable because when he doesn't cash in, you're investing so much money on him. It is not Tommy Fleetwood. It is not Louis. The question is, who since 2021, so the last 21, 22, 23, 24, so the last 11 majors, who has won you the most money in every single market combined total in the betting market, like we always do over here? So who has returned you the most money to win $100 if you're betting them every single time? And I'm seeing a final winner over here. Beautiful. So it is Karim with Collin Morikawa, baby. It ain't Spieth, not Wyndham Clark. It's not Aberg. It's not Wyndham Clark. Collin Morikawa came in, Daniel, just a touch late. Maybe I'll send you a watered-down version of it. But it is Collin Morikawa. Take a peek here. Profit or loss in majors since 2021. Let me zoom in for you folks so that you can see this nicely. Boom. Collin Morikawa. He's got a win, obviously. I think he won the Open in 2021. And as a result, we've got that going for him there. Top 5, 408 returned. 396 in the top 10 market, and his top 20 is 747. So it's quite impressive what he's been up to. And the fun thing is you can kind of go and see what's going on with these guys because we've got interesting and cool stats for it. Now, I don't use this much, but he has major finishes. He has the model. So you can see Collin Morikawa, if we go over to him, he's finishing inside the top 20 in majors in the last 17 starts 65% of the time. So like he's got a ridiculously good top 20 rate. He's also finishing inside the top 5 35% of the time. It's really, really impressive. So he is a beast. So Karim, please reach out to me on X. Send me a message. Send me reach out to me however you need to so I can make sure that I send you the model because I black out on these shows, not because of the Twisted Teas, but because, I'm in the zone. So just kind of showing off the model, kind of just getting you guys primed for what's going on. This is what you can get if you go and use code Maniac or code Summer over there at rotoballer.com. Because I wanted to show you the other, here's Collin Morikawa's betting track record in the majors. You can see it by year since 2021. Got all these different numbers, blah, blah, blah. Tommy Fleetwood's pretty close. So you guys that said Tommy was close, Xander was third, all that stuff. We've got the major betting summary over here. You can kind of just see it all in one spot by one person. And then I think there was, he has Troon's track record. So everything that happened at Troon in 2016. He has Troon in 2014. He has the major trends. He has all this other stuff we were talking about. So as you can see, Collin Morikawa has just been a freak in the sheets when it comes to all of this stuff. Top 5s, he's got 7 of them since 2018. Since 2021, He has got, you just look for the biggest number 6. 6 top 5s for Collin Morikawa in his 15 starts. So quite impressive stuff for him over there. It's a fun time. So you can use my model over there for all your betting needs and enjoy it as you please. I will be sending that to Karam as well. Let's get twisted, baby. Let's show up with the model. I'm going to zoom in a touch more here to make sure that we are rocking and rolling. And then we're going to kind of walk through it together. Beautiful. All right. So kind of now get a feel for what we're looking at this week, the weather, the different kind of price tags associated with people. Because if you take a look, we bring over Bet365. If you're taking a peek at Scottie Scheffler's lines, Scottie Scheffler's winning outright number is almost the same as Collin Morikawa's top 5. So Collin plus 320 for a top 5, that's not the best number in the world, but he's starting to show that he's a major guy. Now, I don't know if I like Collin Morikawa in the wind. That's the problem here. We don't necessarily know where we're going because I like Collin Morikawa in Genesis Scottish Open conditions when it's calm and tranquil and you can pepper flags, you can hit your, TrackMan golf, get that rocking and rolling. In the wind, Collin Morikawa is the champion golfer of the year in 2021. He's missed the next 2 cuts in the Open Championship. So as it stands right now, if this wind picks up, I would imagine Collin Morikawa misses another cut potentially. We bet him top 20 at the Genesis because we saw the weather was going to be nice. That cash for us. But I don't like him this week. The odds suck. We like what's going on, but we can't get there. So plus 320, it's giving us an 11% edge. I see what's going on, but we know what's going on with this weather. We know Collin Morikawa, Degenerate 75 calls him Collin Moriflower because he just gets blown away in the wind. Whew. Let's calm down here, folks. Let's calm down. Hit the like, subscribe to Mayo Media, subscribe to Back 9 Bets. I'm going to be firing that up once I'm done with Ragbrown next week for the Olympics and all that stuff. We're going to be doing some fun stuff on there. Also heading into football season, I'll be doing some crap over there. So Scottie Scheffler at the Open Championship. Let's actually go back to this little thing here because you can go over to the finishes over here and find Scottie Scheffler's Open Championship track record. So here's the Open Championship. I don't know why it's the N Championship. There's an Open missing here somewhere. Let's move that there. Let's see does this make it bigger? Oh, there we go. Okay. There we go. So Scottie Scheffler shows up to St. George's in 2021. Royal St. George's finishes 8th. Hey, look, Scottie's going to play some good golf at this Open Championship in the future. The next 2 times he shows up, St. Andrews I think Royal Liverpool, he almost missed the cut. He sculled his bunker shot into the lip of the bunker, and it shot up and spun forward to gimme, which made him make the cut. He was on his way to miss the cut at the Open Championship last year. Then clawed his back way to a 23rd, 21st at St. Andrews in 2022. He just doesn't get it on these things. And then at the US Open, that's about as linksy as it gets for a US Open with those weed bushes and all that stuff. He just doesn't thrive in these conditions for some reason. So I don't know what's going on with Scottie Scheffler at these venues. At this price tag, I've been saying on all the shows I've been on so far this week, it's the least scared I've been of Scottie Scheffler going into the week, especially at 5-1. You don't bet that number anyway at the Open Championship. You're likely going to find yourself feeling okay about that. There's other options. I mean, Bryson DeChambeau St. Andrews seemed like a better driving venue for him, but Rory at the Open Championships at Troon in 2016 finished 5th. He's been dialing it up. I mean, if we're talking about finishing 2nd in majors, he's got 1, 2 in the last 5 starts. He has a 2nd place. So you've got a top 5 here when Stenson and Old Phil ran away with it, basically. So we got some momentum with Rory going on. So let's actually get there. And I'm seeing PS36 over here mentioning Brooks. Hit the live button when you hear this, buddy, so that you can be in the chat for the next live giveaway. I'll do it here at half an hour into the show. We'll figure out another fun little giveaway over there based off the model. Okay, so yes, Rory, second in the model, third in DFS ranking. They got Bryson ranked second in DFS at 11.5. Rory's 11.4. If we're looking at Rory, now I will tell you this. I am very much looking at Rory McIlroy at 8.5 to 1. Bet365's got an 8 to 1. I can get a little boost on there, but you can't really lay that much down. So 8 to 1 is the number. 8.5 to 1 is the number. I'm in on Rory for that. If the weather and stuff stays the same leading in, if there's no big weather edge, Rory goes off at 10 o'clock in the morning on Thursday over here. Now, the colors of this were originally made for when I pulled the weather on Monday. It's changed. So don't think these colors make any, it's not nudging you in any situation. It's kind of just telling you what's going on here. So Rory goes off early. I kind of like that. You get off early, then you go off later the next day. You get some rest. If he plays well, then he'll go off late on Saturday. He goes off late on Sunday. I don't know if Rory plays better if he goes late early, but it lets you get some rest and relaxation in between these rounds, especially if the wind blows, especially if it's been mentally draining on your pip. You want to make sure that you have some rest and relaxation. The guys going off late, Cameron Smith, Scotty Scheffler, 310, 259. These boys are going to be finishing at 8 o'clock on Thursday, and then they're going to have to go out in the morning again, the following morning. So I don't know exactly what time they go out, probably 10, 9, whatever, going off, maybe 11, whatever. But you still, you finish your round at 8, you leave the golf course at 8:39, get back to the hotel by 9:30, do your warm down, do whatever you need to do, 10 o'clock, then boom, you haven't done shit, and it's 10 o'clock already. So maybe that helps you, because remember, they're going off one tee all day. That's why a weather edge at the Open Championship is one of the most predominant in any PGA Tour event, because not often does the entire week worth of tee times go off the first tee only. So I know some of you know this, but some of you that don't, just putting that out there, I think it's very important. We've got common commentoring nerd. What the heck word is that? Fading Scotty and Morikawa. I was starting to get convinced by others to give Morikawa another look. Yes. Hey, man. And this is the thing. Collin could potentially do it. He could not. But remember, when you won in 2021, no crowd, and the weather was pristine. I mean, they got deep. They got deep into the scoring over there. So I don't believe in him this week. So Rory, I do. And why I do is originally I thought these conditions were going to play a little easier. The conditions I do think are going to be soft in general. There's rain pretty much for a little bit every single day. If we're looking at the weather for Thursday and Friday, there's been, according to the Europeans, the weather has just been wet and soft all summer long over there. They call it summer. It's just gloomsday, over there in Europe. It's just miserable. That's why Bobby Mack hates the world all the time. He's blue collar. I'm always the underdog, which I'm cool with. But we'll see. So Rory in soft conditions, yes, because his ball carries so far, because the further you hit it, the more offline it goes. When it bounces, it can bounce even further skew. When it lands in soft conditions, where it lands, it stops. Hopefully it lands in the fairway, then boom, you're in the fairway. This is what's going on. Yes, so Brackers knows what's up. It's been wet. So we are dealing with that kind of situation. So that's the situation over there. That's what Rory's up to. He's second in the model. We know what he's up to in these majors. There's not too much to tell you about here. 8.5 to 1's fine. I think at 7.5, it was I'm down for that. I can go to Rory McIlroy in that department. Now we're going to make him orange, which means let's make him a different color. Let's make him like yellow, because we want to bet him, but I think also we're looking to kind of wait for this weather to figure itself out. So we have Winnipeg WST in the house. What's going on? You are most welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. And it was a blast being on Winnipeg Sports Talk. Go check that out. I did a nice little interview with Hustler over there. It was a good time chatting to Andrew. So thank you for popping in. Cool. So Rory, there we go. Potentially a top 5. I think I might be playing him top 10. If you take a look at his top 10 numbers, I mean, his major top 10 record is ridiculous. It's the best in this field. 65% of the time, Rory's popping inside the top 10. Let's take a look and see. Let's click some numbers here for the first time in a little while. I've been chatting a lot, but there's a lot of context around this beautiful golf tournament that is the goddamn Open Championship. So, Rory McIlroy for a top 10 is -1. Ooh, yes. -110. If you think about -110, it's telling you what? 51, 52%. 52%. Rory's doing it in majors at a 65% clip. That's an edge. We know Rory McIlroy is always in the mix. I love the -110 number, and everyone gets scared of the negative odds. When you come to back nine bets over here, you are told that it's okay to bet these negative numbers as long as you've got a decent edge. And I'm building this tool for you guys. We're coming out soon. You can use it to make your own placements. Bring those questions in the comments. If you have a placement bet that you're kind of eyeing out and kind of waiting for the weather to tell you what's up, or you don't give a shit about the weather, you're busy tomorrow and you want to place it, hit me up. We'll plug it in for you, see what's going on. Maybe we find a better edge for you in a different market for that same golfer. We'll figure it out. So this show is going to be fun and interactive today because I don't have that many bets for you guys, unfortunately, but we're going to be going through this with all of this stuff. So Rory -110, I'm lining that up quite nicely. So that's kind of where we're looking at. I think we will be doing -110 for a top 10 there, tires paid in full, and then we'll be placing that +1 850 for Rory to win this tournament if everything stays the same. If there's a massive weather edge at Rory, if so, Rory's going off in the morning. If there's a PM, AM weather edge, maybe Rory doesn't make the card. Maybe the top 10 bet doesn't get placed. Breaking 100 will come out midday tomorrow. At some point, I have to publish the freaking article with the bets. They'll come out. So tomorrow morning will be probably the last little look I'll have done for a little while. Ludvig Aberg, as we mentioned over here, his around the green numbers have been pretty poor. Pretty poor. And Dangerous JD knows exactly what he's talking about, because taking a look at old Ludvig, the rest of his game is delightful. And for those of you that don't know how I model for the majors, I just dumb it down. I dumb it down so hard that I'm just using the 4 majors, the stats over here. I use some finishing positions, all that jazz, a little bit of maniac override here and there. But we're only using major strokes gained because the LIV guys, the DP World Tour guys, and the PGA Tour guys all play majors. They all played the same majors, and as a result, the strokes gained data is going to be equitable or relatable to everybody. If you're using all sorts of stuff from different tours, it can get a little goofy for me. I found I've had the most success doing it this way. This is how we're rolling. Ludvig, off the tee in majors, 6th in the field. On approach in majors, 20th in the field. Putting in majors. He had his best putting career in his first major at Augusta, of all places. First in the field in strokes gained putting. Around the greens, 147th. Dangerous DJ knows what's up. So, you know what I'm saying. This is the thing. The windier it gets, the more you have to chip. I like Ludvig a lot. I was saying it on the WST show. Do we like Ludvig when it's windy? Because he's going to have to chip. He chipped himself out of the Scottish. He chipped himself out of the US Open. In calm conditions, you chip less, you hit more greens. It exacerbates what he does the best. Because he's driver, iron, putt. Green regulation means you're not chipping. It means everything he's doing is inside the top 20 in this field. The moment he has to chip from a tight, weird lie, under pressure in particular, he struggles a little bit. And he's historically struggled on Saturdays when he's really found himself in the mix, and then he kind of bounces back on Sundays. We saw on Sunday, when he's in the mix, doesn't quite handle the pressure like we've come to know. You know, the RSM Classic doesn't have Rory McIlroy, Bobby McIntyre coming after you at the Scottish kind of thing. So he's still trying to figure out his stuff on the tour. An awesome talent, but in these windy conditions, I'm kind of leaning away from him, even though we kind of eyeing out a top 20 at -143. Ludvig seems like that's where I want to go with him. It's his most profitable market in regular tour events over the last 12 months. And then obviously he's got the 2 top 20s over here. And I've kind of watered it down because he's got that one top 5 in the last 3. That should be a 33% rate, obviously. But we are dumbing it down. We're watering it down. Unless you've got at least a full year worth of majors, I'm reducing your numbers a bit because we don't want that to be skewed, especially after 2 or 3. It can get kind of rogue on you there. Okay, so Ludvig out of the picture right now with the weather. He's orange, man. I'm not sure I'm in the mood, but I'm going to make Rory white. White means we're going to bet him or we have bet him. We haven't bet Rory. We're kind of eyeing it out, waiting on the weather. Xander Schauffele, I've got a top 10 freaking season-long, top 10 in all 4 majors, and I'm freaking out because it's 40-1. So my $13 is like turning into 550, but I don't trust him at the Open Championship for a top 10, and I'm trying to figure out a way to hedge myself out of this thing. Take a look at Xander. We're going to have to go back to Carnoustie to find a top 10 from Xander. He hasn't done it in the last 4 years. So I'm trying to find a way to hedge out of this thing because the cash out option's shit. I'm looking for a nice hedge, but I'm not finding it right now, and I'm concerned because ever since he won this US Open, he's been the PGA, sorry. He's been okay, but he's lost his like absolute upside. We've seen him do dumb shit all the time since then. He's playing with this like arrogance, which he's always kind of had this like cocky, I'm going to let my club speak, and they just went mute on him for like 2.5 years. Then he wins the PGA that Scotty got locked up in and thinks he's all this, and now what? Yeah, but it's looking good. I mean, we got the 3 top 10s off the chest there, trying to find a way to kind of get him through to the barrier there. But in the wind, I don't know if I trust Sandy in the wind either. So that's also a situation where we kind of, now the top 20s, what? He's got a few of those at least. In the last two Open Championships, we got some top 20s. So that's what's going on with him over there. I think I saw a question earlier about the average distances going into these holes. And the crazy thing is there's no like absolute situation because whichever direction the wind is blowing from, it changes it completely. A downwind drivers can go 370 yards. If you drive it into the wind, it can go 270. Then you've gone from pitching wedge to 7-iron in a quick minute, so it's impossible to kind of project. The par 3s are long. 3 of the 4 of them are like 190 plus. Do I have the holes over here? I probably could pop that into the model as well. Let's see. Well, I just jumped through a million hoops to try to find the holes. I think I have them. And they're the other direction. Let's go looking. No. Either I've hidden them or it's in a totally different file. That's why. And now I've lost my whole plot here. The ADD is real, folks. The ADD is real. Okay, so back to Xander, top 20. That's probably where I would go, but in this weather, I don't know. I'm like, this is the thing. I've got such tentativeness with all these guys. It's like the markets that we like are negative odds, which means we have to lay some stuff, but it's kind of iffy. So I'm not entirely sure where I'm leaning there. Bryson at an Open Championship in all sorts of weather as well. Is he going to do it again? He's been playing amazing. It is soft conditions, which he does tend to thrive in a bit. But, I think Barry's probably starting to speak some truth. We've got to find, I think these tough conditions are going to be a thing right now, at least. As we're speaking at 6:35 Central Time, conditions are looking tough, and Shane Lowry in those kind of conditions are not the worst. So I don't mind him there. Let's take a peek at the rest of the chat here. I'll take Rory top 10. Stevie G's speaking about that. Chris, we're going to get to Tony Finau here shortly. It's not looking good because he's not anywhere near the top of the model for a top 20. So we'll kind of get you there. Once you identify a weather edge, what types of golfers will you prioritize? So the easier conditions, you want guys that can make birdies, guys that kind of struggle around the green a bit more because you're going to hit more greens, you're going to make more putts, you're going to kind of get that momentum rolling. if you're looking for tough conditions, you're looking for scrappy, good ball strikers with good short game and bogey avoidance. Sometimes less aggressive golfers play a bit better in the wind because they kind of hit the middle of the green a bit more, typically like a Scotty Scheffele kind of guy. Whereas when birdies start raining from the sky, Scotty kind of gets caught up by the pack a bit, even though he won the Travelers, but that's kind of where he distinguishes himself. Now, if the wind gets blustery and gusty, then it's a crapshoot because Scotty can figure out the wind's been blowing this way for 20 seconds and he feels comfortable, hits the shot, the next thing, boom, it disappears, the wind changes direction or just stops, airmails the green in a gorge bush, off we go, double bogey, triple bogey, Scotty Scheffele's round is over kind of thing. So it's a crapshoot, but hopefully the original answer to that question, easier. You want guys birdies, you want guys with poorer short game, better putters kind of thing. When you're looking for windy conditions, it brings in more skill set. Around the green and putting is more important. Ball striking becomes way more important. I think that's kind of what we're leaning at here. So a full, well-rounded golfer is exactly what we're looking at here. Farker now with a monstrous parlay. Hatton T5, Tommy Fleetwood T10, Tom McKibben T20, and the big easy Ernie Els T40 to return. What? Is that 1,000 to 1? That is incredible. Wow. Okay. I would Finau top 20 lock. Okay, well, let's get to Tony Finau. Since we both got two people asking about the big tone, let's do this. Tony Finau. Where he be now? 30th in my model. 14th in DFS ranking, so tough scenes there. Why is Tony Finau all the way down there? Because if we take a look at his major track record, he's got 6% of them are top fives. Collin Morikawa, 35%. Now, Tony's playing a lot better, but he's never really old Tony. Tony from like the mid-2015s, that guy balled out in majors. Let's pull up his major track record here. The big Tonus. Going back to my model over at rotoballer.com, you can find it over there. Use the code in the description below. So Tony Finau in majors, prior to 2020, he was thriving. He was surviving and thriving. Third at Royal Portrush and ninth at Carnoustie. 20th or 18th, top 20 at Troon when in 2016. Third at the US Open in 2024. That was good. And that was one of his best finishes in a long, long time. Now he's also changed his putter and his putting grip. So maybe that has been one of his biggest bugaboos, typically. And if we go to Data Golf and figure out exactly you can see when he changed. You can literally see Tony Finau changed his putter right around the Charles Schwab kind of thing. Like that's when things started really firing up. That was June 9th, So, and it's significant. Half a stroke per round is much better than all this other crap he's been doing. And the same with his ball striking. It remains steady. The short game is great. He seems like I would play him. We've got 5 consecutive top 20s in the last few starts. 2 of them have been majors. The long run metrics are not telling us what we want, unfortunately, for Tony. But if you take a look at it short term, if you guys are in the mood, cool. What are his odds here? For a top 20, we are looking at a Tony Finau plus 145. Let's see what's going on. Plus 145 for Tony Finau. It's going to give us a negative edge, but that's not even telling us what the bet is. So it's close. And that doesn't even know what we know. Like, if you want to weight more recent performances more, let's go, baby. I'm in. If you guys want to bet Tony Finau plus 145, go ahead. I'm not calling you off. I'm not suggesting it. But if that's what you want to do, I'm not going to say no, if that answers your guys' questions over there. So Xander got great tee times. What do you mean? Did he get some kind of like the Rory situation? What's his tee time? For Xander. Late, early? Okay. Maybe that helps. Maybe it doesn't. Like, remember what I was saying earlier in the show. So we'll leave him alone. So Xander we've spoken about. Bryson is so intriguing. I can't tell you here or there for him either. Do we want to kind of rely on him at the Open Championship? We kind of just went back to these guys' track records here earlier, and we saw Bryson really hasn't done it at these Open Championships. You know what I'm saying. So Royal Port Rush, you've got the third, Carnoustie. That's Tony Finau. Golly. I was like, that seemed familiar. This is why I'm not a big Google Docs guy. But yeah, the one Open Championship that Bryson has finished better than a 33rd at, which is like his baseline essentially since showing up, was St. Andrews, which was a birdie fest. You're carrying bunkers, you can hit it anywhere on the planet, no wind. That's Bryson's MO. He's never thrived in these situations ever. Now, at the US Open, that was about as close to links golf as you can kind of get. I don't know how much the wind was blowing. It got crispy. Who knows? I mean, the guy is balling out this year. 6th, 2nd, 1st in his last 3 majors. His odds for what? A top 10 are plus 162. Maybe. But again, it's like, I don't know. You know, like we don't really have, were the errant tee shots that Bryson would hit better? Like thick grass versus a gorge bush? That changes it all. You know, I don't know. I understand he also hits it very straight right now. But I think I'm leaving him alone. I'm just leaving him alone. There's so many unknowns here, and the prices are tough. So that's where we're going over there. All right. So I think someone else was asking about Hatton. And I think Joanne also asked. Hatton this week is interesting to me. Lacks pedigree in his majors, but he's been playing light. Myron, great summary. Let's take a peek at what Tyrrell Hatton's situation has been. I've been saying that he doesn't necessarily do his thing in these majors. And if we take a look at his major track record since 2018, we don't even have a top 5. He was, I think, inside the top 5 going into the US Open, shit himself. Then wins the next live event a few days later by 6 strokes. That's Tyrrell Hatton for you. We go over to his situation over here with the last few Open Championships and pull up Tyrrell Hatton's situation. You will notice that his last top 5 in a major was at Troon in 2016. So 8 years ago, I believe. If we go all the way over here to 2018, yeah, I mean, we've got nothing better than some 6th place finishes at the US Open. I guess the 2019 Open Championship, he finished 6th at Royal Port Rush, but the only top 5 was at Troon in 2016, which is kind of exciting for him. And if we take a look at what he's been up to, he's been jamming. I mean, the 9th at the Masters, he finished 26th at the US Open. Woo! That's not good. The PGA Championship, 63rd, you know, like the Masters, solid stuff from him. Been playing good golf, but I wouldn't get my hopes up about him. Now, a top 20 is plus 100 for Tyrrell. Maybe, maybe that's the way I would probably play him. I feel like that's safer. The top 10 market for Tyrrell, plus 220. Like what? We've got one top 10 basically in the last forever. So I'd probably lean into Tyrrell top 20. That's about it for me. I think that's where you want to be going with Tyrrell, Joanne, Myron. That's your Tyrrell take there. Top 20 or anything. I don't know if I'll be going there personally. I'm not a big fan of him. I don't like how he handles himself on the golf course, etc., etc. Brian Harman for a grind. Sites. I'm going to take another. Every time I see you, I think of Twisted Tea. I was eyeing out Brian Harman. I know for a fact his odds are like 75-1. Let's pull him up. Because old BH over here, champion golfer of the year, he's actually been thriving in these tournaments. If you take a look at what he was doing entering the year he won, you can kind of see how he was progressing. Like it looked really, really good from that department. So let me get this out of the way. Brian Harman over here, row 26. Maybe I can just get rid of all of these guys. Clear this and then click that and then go here. Boom. Okay. Now I can do Brian Harman back underneath here so people know what's going on. It looks beautiful. $7,600. Obviously won at Royal Liverpool, finished 6th at St. Andrews, 19th at St. George's. And then the 2 tournaments before that, the 2 Open Championships, he missed freaking Mr. Cuts, So what did Brian Harman have inside his pedigree to kind of finish? I think you got to go back quite far to find his T2. But he has one. I promise you, because I've done this stuff. In these majors, Brian Harman, the 2017 US Open, Brian Harman finished second. So it was ages ago, 6-7 years, but he finished second. It's just weird that way. And I think that's the funny thing. So about all of this stuff. But a top 20 for Brian Harman, folks, I think I kind of fancy that as a bet myself. I like that as an option. Plus 220. Let's go check it out. Not that one. This one. All right. So top 20 bets for Brian Harman. Plus 220. Baby. Okay. So that is a potential bet for us once it comes through. I'm in. I'm bullish on this guy. His DFS rank is 23rd. My model's ranking him as 18th. Now, it incorporates his win of the Open Championship, but it's also been using stuff since 2021. So he's shown up in these majors. If we go back to his major track record over here, you can see it started to really start popping. T21, T26, 6th. We got some stuff. Misses a few cuts here and there as well, particularly at the long hitting venues, in particular Augusta. So, yeah, maybe back at the Open Championship again, we can see another top 20 from Brian Harman, who's thrived in these conditions historically. So, plus 220 for a top 20. I think that's the way to go. You're probably going to get a very similar answer for a top 40 number as well. I think that's also completely fine for Brian Harman there. Beautiful. I mean, his top 20 in majors is almost better than his top 20 in regular tour events this last 12 months. So some nice stuff of BH over there. All right, so scooting on. Noren, Alexander Noren, made his way into the Open Championship courtesy of the Genesis Scottish Open finish. So that was good from him. We're not going to get too much value from him there. I mean, he hasn't finished inside the top 10 in a major in his last 11 starts. Had to play well at the Genesis just to get into the Open Championship. This venue does kind of match his profile quite nicely, though. He's been playing great on tour, finishing inside the top 24 out of every 10 starts, going all the way there. In majors, what has he been up to? Struggled mightily off the tee, struggled mightily on approach. Around the green, he's been great, and then the putter just lets him down. So tough scenes for old Noren. But what's he been doing this year? The ball striking's 54th in this field. So does that help him a little bit? Maybe. But I can't say I'm thrilled. I weight major performances because it's a different situation. When it comes to a major, this is what defines your legacy. You have Gary Player, Arnold Palmer, Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods, Brooks, all these boys. Rory, right? Rory's won 20 tournaments, millions of tournaments around the world, got a 10% win rate, yet we are dragging him through the mud because he can't close out majors. Because majors get into your head if you don't have it. And if you have it, you are Brooks Koepka, you are Gary Player, you Jack Nicklaus, you Tiger Woods. You take those tournaments down. No matter where your game is, your mind is stronger than your body and the rest of the people playing in that goddamn field. So majors are where you want to be. And Alex Noren has struggled in them. Let's pull up his stuff over here just to make 100% sure that he's not kind of finding some form, but it might not be good either way. So Alex Noren's the PGA Championship, he finished 12th. He's had some decent results in Open Championships. Okay, 46th at Troon. He's only missed one cut. Didn't show up at St. Andrews because he's in the situation where we're going to see boxes empty because he's not making it into these events. But a 12th at the PGA, solid course history back in the day, good Open Championship pedigree for Alex Noren. I mean, he is plus 250 for a top 20. So that's enticing. Maybe a top, a plus money. Do we get I don't know if I can see a top 40 here right now, but I'd probably lean towards a top 20, a top 40 type situation for Mr. Noren. Let's take a look here and see what his actual splits look like. Yeah, top 20s is fine. He's doing it less than half the time he's finishing inside the top 40. So usually your top 40 odds are going to be double, or your top 20 odds are going to be double your top 40 odds. And if your top 20 percentage is less than half, then you found yourself a nice soft spot in that guy's betting profile, if that made any sense. What's up, Phil? My man. I am good, dude. Cheers. Twisted Tea, let's hit that like button. Let's show Twisted Tea how many views this freaking video can get. We want to get sponsored by them so that I can quit my day job. And then I don't care how hungover I am when I wake up on Wednesdays. We're going to be drinking Twisted Tea with all you guys all the time. Bet Akshay over 100 to 1. I get it. Again, what has Akshay done in majors? Let's take a peek at his profile. I think this is a fascinating situation because Akshay, I like him a lot. I think he's very talented. Majors are a different baby. They are a different beast. So Akshay obviously playing in his first Open Championship. He's played in only 3 majors. 35th at the Masters, made the cut there, right after winning at the Valero. That's very impressive. Missed the cut at the PGA and then 16th at the US Open. So he's got himself a top 20. If we go to the major trends, what does a top 20 tell us? Since 1999, a top 20 at the Open Championship, 84% of people have done that. But if we go to 2010, 86% of them have basically done that, but 79% of them have finished second or better. You know what I'm saying? Like that second is it's such a barrier because if you finish second, you finish third, fourth, and fifth. You know what I'm saying? So that number trickles down. It's always going to be higher than the next one. But the second place number to me is just so important this week. I don't know if it's going to hold true. It's showing up this year so far. All the guys that have won have had solid finishes in majors. I mean, look at this. It's starting to really become one of these things. So second, first, boom, 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 boom. So, hey, good for you. I'd probably bet him top 20. What is his top 20 number? Akshay's top 20 number is, wow, all the way down here at 100 to 1 plus 260. So, maybe if he catches, if the weather flips to his advantage, what is Akshay's tee time? Oh, we can just hit this button right here and just go to him. Oh, he's got the very late, early tee time. So 3:21 tees off. Imagine teeing off at 3:21 and thinking you're going to finish a major round of golf. But yeah, at $7,000, I don't mind him either. His model rank is going to be dinged because he's playing only in his 4th major, his first Open Championship. I don't know if you can just show up and just do your thing. We'll see. Louis Oosthuizen's growing on me. Yeah. He seems like a safe pick. I think that's exactly what he is. I think he's safe. If you take a look at what Louis's been up to the last little while, it's like a really interesting situation because the upside, obviously, the major win back in 2010, but he's balling out, man. I mean, since the last 12 majors he's played in, he pops. When he pops inside the top 20, he pops inside the top 10 and the top 5. 33% across the board. So when he's doing it, he's doing it. This might be a very interesting profile to look at. It's almost like a research stream. This doesn't typically always happen, but this weather has caused us some crap. So we kind of we're just having fun, kind of researching some stuff, doing our thing. Here is Louis for us. Let's go find him. Do we have another one that's actually got the... I need to learn how to navigate these tabs better. Okay, there we go. Louis O. Clear this out. Louis. And we're going to pull up Shane because I think he's also quite intriguing as well. So here's Louis. And Shane, we've got 2 guys here that have won. Let's get Louis over here. So back over here. Louis Oosthuizen. He's the second row. Didn't play in a single major this year for some reason. Is playing in this one. Finished 23rd at the Open in 2023. Missed the cut at the Open in 2022. 3rd in 2021. And then, yeah. So, I don't know. I think a top 20 bet on him is probably not the worst thing in the world, especially at the Open Championship. Maybe a top 30, probably the way you want to do it. He's been doing that quite routinely. He's got 4 top 30s in his last 5. So I think a Louis Oosthuizen top 30 number appeals to me quite a lot. Where is he here? So plus 200 for a top 20. You can get some even money, probably plus 130 for a top 30 there on Louis. So I like it. I like it a lot. I'd probably lean into that one a bit. So I'm going to actually mark that down as a top 30 bet for myself if it makes sense to do tomorrow, because he's been doing that quite nicely in his Open Championships the last little while. All right, let's kind of scoot off here a little bit. Got a tip for whether at all links courses study the times. Tide. Ooh, study the tide times. We're talking about the moon and the sun and the stars now, Farcanel. We are getting into the Victor Hovland interview world here, where he started speaking about aliens and shit. Victor Hovland he's taken some DMT for sure. All right, Jon Rahm. So not good, my brother. Jon Rahm is not looking good, J-Bone. The recent performances from John have been abysmal, to be honest with you. As the defending Masters champion, he did not even show up. He made the cut, barely, but it has not been good. He withdrew from the US Open because of a foot. He had a hole in his foot. But we've got a third and a second in some Open Championships here. So I like him in DFS at 10-4. I don't know what his ownership is at the moment, but I would imagine not very high. I think what Data Golf has got some ownership projections potentially, so maybe we can take a quick sneak peek there. Hopefully they don't mind me pulling that up here. Jon Rahm, 13%. He's the same as that. I mean, I don't know if I believe that. I don't know if I believe that kind of ownership. So I was thinking single digits. Maybe people get a little scared of Jon Rahm ownership at that price. At that ownership, I'm not putting him in a quarter of my lineups. I'm sorry. Even with the way he's been playing, it's been quite poor, so to speak. You know, we've got all these live top 10s, but I mean, there's like 50 guys in a field. 54 people. And Danny Lee, David Puig, all just messing around at the bottom of the freaking board here, you know? And I mean, the guys beating him are just also a bunch of nobodies around Luke. I mean, Cam Smith played nicely, but this is what he does. Also, if you're looking to bet Cam Smith, bet him later in the tournament. He just gets better and better. He might just make the cut or finish inside the top 30 after the cut, and then you pounce because he gets better and better. Place, I could do a nice little top 10 or top 20 once the week rolls through. That's my boy for you. I'm not going to be speaking too much about Cam Smith. Why does my friend always call me in the middle of a podcast? So at 57 minutes, I'm going to send this to him and say, stop freaking calling me at freaking 7 o'clock at night all the time. Louis' bad chalk this week. I don't know. I mean, how much chalk is he going to get at $6,800? You know, that's the cheaper someone is, sometimes the less ownership they kind of get. It's up to you. Anything more than like 10% at $6,800 kind of gets a little iffy. So tough scenes there. I don't really know what you're going to be getting from Louis. These live guys, I don't have that much of an opinion on, although my model loves Louis because obviously the major track record's phenomenal. And at $6,800, I think that's some good value. I think I'd probably play Louis over Sungjae because his major track record is atrocious, Sungjae's. So that's that for you. Mr. Waken, think, yeah, he's 10%. I think, yeah, if you want to do that, that's better than Sungjae anyway. Exactly, boom. Sungjae 20%. Harris English grinder, top 40. Barry R. Let's take a look, brother. All right, Harry H. Harry English. Not Padraig Harrington, Harris English. In the major world, what has he been up to here? Top 40s, 43% of the time. Top 20s, 29% of the time. That, to me, screams like a top 20 kind of bet and potentially even a top 10. But, 29% for a top 20 isn't bad. What is his Open Championship track record? I love how we're dancing between all these different things. But the model is, yeah. So if you are wanting to do this, you can find all this information over here. It just kind of gets a little grimy for me when I'm trying to filter all this stuff. When you're doing it yourself, it's make a copy. You go file, make a copy, boom chakalaka, off you go. You're going to have your own thing over there. So we'll do a giveaway right after this one before we kind of start wrapping the show up with everything else going on. All right, so we're going to do format. You can do all of that stuff I've showed you there. Let's go to our major finishes for, who are we doing? Harris English. Clear Harris English. Over here. All right. So I don't know about the Open Championships for him. Like there's no market you can bet him outside of make cut that he would have been cashing for you. Unfortunately, he's a grinder. So maybe DFS, $6,300, not the worst thing, Barry. But the top 40 market has been a little elusive to him. But at the majors that don't get played across the pond, maybe I like him a bit more. So maybe lay off him, put him in your DFS lineup where the made cut can kind of pay off a bit better than a top 40 kind of situation there. Thoughts on Hideki? This guy is a cut-making freak show, friends. It's ridiculous what he gets up to. Holy cow. Check this out. So it has been a very long time since Hideki Matsuyama has missed a cut. Alrighty. Could have done that an hour ago, but let's keep on scrolling till we see the number 99. And it would have been the 2019 Open Championship, where he missed the cut at St. Royal Portrush. Also, his last 3 Open Championships prior to that or whatever, all were missed cuts too. Showed up at St. Andrews, but that was a bit of a birdie fest. That's not an Hideki Matsuyama kind of perfect situation. Missed St. George's because I think he was that the Olympics that he was kind of doing? I think he was training for the Olympics. And then Royal Liverpool, 13th. Now, in difficult scoring conditions, let's pull up Hideki Matsuyama's stats. You're going to see some approach numbers that are freaking phenomenal. And you're going to see maybe around the green some numbers too, I would imagine. Particularly lately. He's been firing it up around the greens this year. Second in the field in strokes gained around the green. 63rd in putting. So if we have to make tons of birdies, Hideki is not your guy. If you're looking to scramble, make those pars, avoid those bogeys, then Hideki is your boy. Third in the field in strokes gained around the green in majors. Beautiful. Love to see that. 9th in the field in strokes gained approach. Love that. The other 2, middle of the field, off the tee, but 140th in putting. Maybe he putts a bit better at the Open Championship on the slower greens. We'll see. But he typically gets off to a slow start as well. He's round 1 strokes gained numbers this year, 50th in the field, So tough stuff over there. Farcanel trying to get people to ride the 1,000 to 1 pyramid scheme. I love it. The Big Easy T40 all day. Hey, man, I think Pat kind of crushed that market when he played him as the top senior. The Big Easy at the Open Championship. Let's pull it up quickly. Okay. But I also promised you guys we're going to do a quick giveaway. So let's do one more giveaway. Yeah. I'm going to hide this. I'm also going to type it up so that anyone can read and see. So the audibly challenged people can read what's going on here. So giveaway. Let's do since 2021, who's cost us the most money in major championships? We'll see. I don't know what the answer is. Who has cost the most money in major championships? Betting, win, T5, T10, T20. Boom. Okay, so to clarify what Darbo asked, what does that mean? It means, like, Darbo, we've done this. We've done this a million times. So I'll pull up, here's Hideki Matsuyama's stuff. So over here, we're wondering, okay, what's happened when you've bet to win $100 on Hideki Matsuyama in the last 12 months? You would have landed up losing a total of $758 because he won the Genesis, so you got your money back there. But to win $100 in the top 5 market every week, you would have lost 284. The same for top 10, same for the top 20. So let's do this. So I think I have it for major championships as well. The biggest loser in all those markets combined. So you never know. So we've got some Keith Mitchell, we got some JT, we got some Cantlay, we got some Spieth. I'm going to hide this again so that we can make sure that I'm pulling up the right stuff. But I have it in here for y'all. And it's actually a nice, easy summary for us. So that's good to see. All right. Okay. So this is for the model. I'll DM you again. I'm going to be doing it to Karam. We'll see. I'm going to pull up the number right now. A to Z. Beautiful. So someone has already said it, but I'll let you guys fire off a few more names just because. But you know what? I'm not going to let you guys get your hopes up. Yeah. We got Keith Mitchell. Not Keith Mitchell. It's not Patrick Cantlay. It's not Jordan Spieth. I don't even see him on this list. Oh, I do. It's not Fleetwood. It's not Hideki. I know what you were thinking from the last time. I just spoke about someone and it was that person. That was by coincidence almost. Jon Rahm, not Jon Rahm, not Tony Finau. It is Justin Thomas, folks. Despite his win at the PGA Championship, he's lost you $233 in majors for top fives, 431 in top tens, and 896 in the top 20 market. It has not been good for JT in the last little while. So let's actually take a quick look at that because that's very interesting. So sites, I will send you the model, my friend. So yeah, JT in Open Championships particularly been very, very bad. Does not have a top 10, I don't think, in his track record. We got the PGA. He finished 8th this year. Congratulations. He's missed 2 more cuts. I mean, we got a multitude of cuts that he's missed since 2023 began. And even in 2022, after winning the PGA, he wasn't cashing any top 20s. He's cashed 1 top 20 since at the PGA this year. So it's been very bad for Justin Thomas. Very, very, very bad. So congrats, sites. All right. So back to some other stuff. And also sorry for getting cheeky with you there, Darby. I did not explain it very well. Keita Nakajima for a top 20. Okay. Let's take a look. What has Keita been up to? At the Open Champion, Keita Nakajima has not made a cut at a major, my friend. Jack, I would fish somewhere else for another bet, maybe. I hope you haven't made that one. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. He hasn't done it, man. I want to double check that is the case because that's not very good. He's like a top 50 golfer in the world. Official World Golf Rankings 90th. Major track has not. The model speaks the truth. Jack, I would leave Keita Nakajima alone until further notice. It has to be, yeah, okay, getting back to that. How do you feel about Koepka outright with 3 places compared to Koepka outright with Jesus? With 10 places. I don't know if I feel either way about Brooks. I probably would play the 3 places. Ebom, because it took me a minute to think of your name there on the stream, yeah. We're going to go back to our handy-dandy situation over here because this is what you can use this for. You can go to his major since then. Go find Brooksy. Now, we've got a win. We've got 2 seconds. And then only 2 top 10s outside of those other 3. So I would probably lean into the top 3 market versus the top 10 market. When he plays well, he plays exceptionally well. And that's just since 2021. If you want to go to 2018, it gets even better. He's at the top of the list here for my power rankings. So, like, we've got 8 top 3s and only 4 additional top 10s. So maybe the top 5, I'd probably lean into the top 5 market if you're kind of looking for a happy medium. But when Brooks contends, he really contends. When he doesn't, he's kind of just floating around there. So that's how I would approach that if I were. But He's been playing like hot garbage lately with the putter in particular. Maybe in these conditions, though, the putter can come alive a bit. I think he's 40-1. Whew. It's a nice number. Who would you take between Bears, Burmy, Højgaard for a final DFS lineup? Good question. Let's look at that. All right, so what do we want? We want to clear the filters. We want to talk about Burmy, Bez, and Højgaard. So we can start with 3 Bs over here. Can we get... Oh, no. Where is Bezzy? There he is. Okay. Got him. We've got Burmy. Why is he not showing up here? Have I got the filter on something else? Or is it, do I have to do the first name? Okay. We're getting there. These questions with three things, it takes me forever to click through the names. And Erasmus. Oh, okay, good. Here we go. So, the only person with a major top 20 in their last few starts is Dean Burmester. He's also got the best top 40 rate. If we take a look at Rasmus, it's not been good. He's made 1 cut in the 4, hasn't finished top 40 in that cut. So I would definitely lean, and that's on the PGA Tour this year. We're looking at majors. It's been five majors and not a single top 40 for Rasmus. So I would probably lean Burmy because Bezzy withdrew with an injury. Maybe that was tentative precautionary measures because this major's coming up. Also, he's injured. I would go Burmy, $6,700. He's your guy, in my opinion. I like that. What does the model say about his ranking? 78th. So, yeah, I think it's a safer bet than Bezzy right now based off of the injury shit that we were dealing with Bezzy. Because I think he might have landed up ruining my top 40 parlay last week with Bezzy being in there in the top 40. WD, the rest of the guys took care of business. All right. Most Americans don't like cold, wet weather. They're so soft. My man, I love it. You can't blame. I mean, that's the thing. Where was Brack earlier saying, from England, can confirm. They deal with that crap all the time. Makes a lot of sense. Rasmus, yep. Sanjay's 2 visits in Scotland, 20th in 2022 and 4th last week. But is that like the Scottish Genesis Open, which is fine? It's a links course, but it's not a major. You know, like if you take a look at Sanjay's track record in majors, let's just put it up here. It's quite poor. And I've always thought that since these military requirements were squashed after him and Siwoo both got their gold medal at the Asia Games, that he would feel a bit better about less pressure. I mean, like literally having to win a major so you don't have to get bullets shot at you. It's a little bit more pressure than just setting a legacy, you know. But I guess T20 at Royal Liverpool last year, good. But I mean, in majors this year, he's been very bad. He's missed all 3 cuts in the majors and typically plays well at the Masters and then made that T20 here last year at the Open. Plays well at the Masters, played badly everywhere else. Missed the cut at the Masters, played well at the Masters. His Open Championship track record is, you know, I don't know if I'm into Sanjay, folks. I don't know if I'm into him this week. Top German is, I'm jumping ahead. Any good Corey Connors bets, top 30 should be safe. Sure. Let's take a look at Corey Connors for y'all. Corey Connors in majors. So he has not been profitable this year in any market on the PGA Tour. In majors, he has not had a top 5. He's had multiple top 10s. Holy heck, that's quite the top 10 ratio. Now, when you can get your top 10 percentage to double and get very close to your top 40 percentage, I think that tells you want to probably be betting the top 10 market, Barry. I know the top 30 seems safe, but maybe a top 20 is the way to go because when you're finishing in majors, in 17 majors, he's finished 20th or better 41% of the time. And then only 59% of the time he's finishing top 40. So I think there's some value on that top 20 market or that top 10 market. Maybe you can do a bit of a ladder. Let's take a look and see what Corey Connors' situation is. Yeah, we are scrolling, so we're going to see some fat numbers. Yes. So plus 550 for a top 10, which is probably the way I'd bet it. I mean, you got a quarter of a chance to do that, 24% in majors. What has he been up to this year? 36% of the time he's been inside the top 20. So he's so comfortable inside the top 20 is Corey. And he's 22nd in my model. I'm really liking where this is going. 9% edge for that for a top 20. And then let's click a top 10 here and just see what happens if we change that to a plus 550. Also a solid edge, but we got the 9% edge for the top 20 there, which I like a lot. So that includes major track record and PGA track record, which you can see here, the PGA. His major top 10 rate is much higher than his top 10 rate in the last 12 months, which is kind of perplexing. So I think I like the top 20. The ball striking so good. We'll see what he can do short game. It's been very bad in the short game department. Like when you're outside the top 70 around the green and putting, it's no dice. Top 20 for ball striking. So let's see what he can do. And he gets progressively worse basically as the week goes on. So that kind of explains why he's finishing inside the top 20 all the time. So top 20 plus 230, I might be leaning into that with you. He's got a decent tee time, just middle of the day. What he gets up to, who the heck knows? Let's do that. It's all good. Thanks for taking the time to filter. You actually just taught me something. Add to existing filter. Ooh, you're welcome, Darbo. You're welcome. By the way, as always, go check out Sweet Spot DFS. He'll be doing his show later this evening. Okay, cool. Thanks. Top German. Jaeger over Yannick Paul, Marcel Siem, Alex Checker. Oof. I'm not going to click through 4 million names again, sites. I will DM you. When I DM you the model, I'll give you that one again. But it seems right. I mean, those other three guys, I mean, Alex Checker I think he's a senior tour member now. Yannick Paul's been playing okay. Marcel Siem's been showing some fight. And Jaeger's a very good driver of the golf ball, but what's he been up to in majors? I don't know. Connor's intriguing again after last week's top 10. Yes, I think we like that, boys and girls. Did Sangja have to play much in heavy wind? Maybe, maybe not. I was on my bicycle the majority of the time. Yeah, so there was no wind. The big easy top 40. Yes. Okay, let's do that. Okay. I will answer this right away. Fowler, no. Kitayama, maybe on the pulse. So keep your hand on the pulse, fingers on the pulse, only on Kitayama. Take them off of Ricky Fowler's pulse, despite what you will see on the model. We are looking at the Big Easy. The Big Easy. My dog is called Ernie after the Big Easy. It's not often I get to bring him up on the show organically. Let's do it. Ernie, my big boy. All right. So he's missed his last. He's just missed so many. What is going on here? I thought he played quite nicely. I don't know. I like him. I mean, we got that 30-32 at Royal Port Rush. So if he makes the cut, he makes the cut. And he also just won. He also just won that the senior thing, didn't he? And what is an Ernie Els top 40 bet? He's 18-1 for a top 20. So I'm assuming 8-1 for a top 40. Let's go, dude. That's fine. It's such a minimal amount to invest. 8-1, 9-1. Let me actually pull up a proper top 40. I've got a handy dandy spreadsheet, like a cheat sheet here, the main menu. Let's look for top 40s for Ernie here quickly. Okay, Ernie else. It's not letting me see it. Oh, I'm zoomed in too much. A top 40 for Ernie's plus, it's 500 only when he's 18-1 to finish inside the top 20. I don't know if I like that much then. I mean, those big numbers were very nice when we were getting like a massive number on him. They're halving it all the way to top 30 only. So that's kind of brutal. I don't know if I like that the most. I like him at $5,100 though, as a random play, because I mean, look at what he's been doing. he's been balling out. He hasn't played in any other majors. This is the major he gets to play in all the time, and he just misses the cut. It's like by a stroke or two, so it's super close. And I think the harder the conditions, I think that's what Ernie said at this venue. The conditions were so difficult that he didn't have to make tons of birdies, and that's what he likes. He likes to take it easy on the greens, hit those green regulations, make the 2 putts, walk away. All right. Beautiful. Cheap old men for DFS. Isn't that what you see like in a eBay, like an eBay or a freaking Craigslist? Cheap old men for DFS. Lucas Glover and Zach Johnson. I'm a big fan of Zach Johnson and Lucas Glover. Zach, particularly at the Open Championship. Lucas Glover, I like him a lot. He's got that piercing ball flight for the windy conditions. Let's go. Why do we like Kitayama? I don't know. That was just my gut reply. Let's see. Is it warranted? Hasn't necessarily done the best in Open Championships, but we've got 2 top 40s in his three majors to start the year. Finished 4th at the PGA Championship in 2023, but the Open Championship track record, not the greatest. He's $6,300, so he's very affordable. And that's about it. Yeah, so recently, when you see kind of a trend like this, that's good to see. Has made 2 Open Championship cuts as well. At $6,300, I don't mind it. You know, I'm not going to talk you off of that, I think. So, yes. Let's pull up Ricky Fowler quickly, just so I can show you. Just no, like in general, no. It's since the US Open, he finished 5th. Then he went and won the Rocket Mortgage. And then it just got progressively worse. 23rd, 30th, 63rd, miscut. So he finally missed a cut at the US Open this year and hardly ever finishes inside the top 20 in a major. He's $6,600. Okay. You know, like let's actually go to where Ricky Fowler's. And the thing is, his major track record is actually really good. You know, we got that 5th at the US Open, an 8th at the PGA Championship, and a lot of it is missing from the other ones. So the sample size is really small since 2021. So what you're about to see is PG. It's R-rated. I would not show this to your children. I would not show it to your wife, because Ricky Fowler is 13th in my model based off of strokes gained in majors. We just showed you why. He's been incredible in them. But lately, Ricky Fowler's game overall has been shit. Look at this. I mean, look at the difference between these numbers. It's green and then it's orange. It's not even yellow, it's orange. So, on that. So, Ricky, no dice. Okie dokie. Southgate. And I think that's going to be it, folks. I've got to go watch a softball game, the regional finals. Mrs. Maniac's head coach that she coaches on the team there with has been coaching for 49 years. 49 years, folks. He's been doing that for 49 years. He's won over 1,000, like 150 games. He's coached 2,000 plus. He's retiring. This could be his final game. Today was the day that he chalked the field for the last time. So go find something in your life that you can do for 49 years and chalk that field for the last time and look back at it and say, man, I freaking nailed that. So just a little inspiration there. I was in the bleachers when he did his first regional playoff game. Was he crying? Like, I've known the guy for a while. He's amazing. But just find something in your life that you can do like he did. Like, he's been the best. You know, coaches are usually just the greatest people on the planet. So, yes. Getting back to Matthew Southgate, the English coach for the soccer team, who was playing this week at $6,000. Just kidding. It's not the same person, but it's the same name. Or is it Matthew Southgate as well for the soccer coach? Or is it Gareth Southgate? I can't remember. The model's frozen, but it's frozen on the fact that Matthew Southgate has made one cut in his majors, and it looks like it was a top 40. When it finally lets me do some stuff here, we'll figure it out. Okay. Maybe Google Sheets is a bit more responsive to me. So yes, he's made the one cut. That's nice. I don't have much to say about him. What has he done in those major championships? He's great on approach in those, and then the rest of them not the best. I don't know. Go for it. Give it a whack. Let's see what happens. Sites, you are most welcome. Love the unique angle. Yeah, you know what? Always trying to do stuff differently. That's what we're doing. And I think, this is what we do over here on Back Nine Bets. Hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to Rotoballer. Use code SUMMER for 30% off. Thank you so much for tuning in, folks. I will not be here for the 3M. I will be on my bicycle. The reason I've got these raccoon eyes is because I'm out in the sun all the time doing my thing. I'm going to be doing 500 miles over 10,000 feet of climbing. My fat ass has been trying to get into some shape so I can at least haul my butt over those hills. But if you get me on the flats, you are going to be doing 20 miles an hour behind a freight train. But it's not that weak. It's southern Iowa. It's hilly as balls. We're going to be struggling. So think about me when I'm not on the show this coming Tuesday. I might try and pop some stuff out early, but I'll be leaving on Saturday anyway, so it's going to be rough. It always falls over this time of the year, and it's going to be a great time. I love it. I feel like such a caveman when I'm out there. You're camping, you exerting your body, you just really putting yourself to the test and just drinking a bunch of beers at the same time. So fun stuff. But I can't wait. I hope you guys go watch Sweet Spot DFS. Go check out all the Rotoballer stuff. Check out all the stuff on Mayo Media Network. You will not be short of good information. So whether or not they doing shoeies and drinking twisted teas on you, I didn't even finish a full twisted tea in this hour and a half show. But please, Twisted Tea, sponsor your boy. I beg of you. We need a booze sponsor on the show so we can have some fun. All right, folks. Thank you so much. We'll catch you guys next Olympics. The Olympics, maybe? Is that when it's going to be? So 2 weeks from now, we'll have a good one. Peace out.